it I, and I feel bad.
That's
That's
all you
true.
got. Very nice.
Thank
welcome everybody to the February 1st, 2022 Board of Health meeting. Just a disclaimer, this agenda is subject to change and includes those items reasonably anticipated by the chair to be discussed at the meeting. Not all agenda items may in fact be discussed, and other agenda items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. So usual, we'll call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. And I don't see anybody, but anybody for citizens participation? Okay, so I'm going to take that as a no. And we go to Superman for the update. Sergeant Byrnes, how are you?
Good. Hi, everybody. As of I checked this afternoon, right now we have 70 open confirmed cases and 11 probables for a total of 81. But the one thing I just want to make sure everyone is aware of, that's 81 cases that, people that went to a lab and, we got notified. So we're still waiting to come up with a number. And my guess is it's going to be between like a 20 and 30% where we would have to increase that number for the amount of people that are doing home tests that are not reportable. I do see some of these numbers because these parents are calling into the school, to let the school nurses know that their kids are positive on a home test. So yes, our numbers are right now, like I said, are 81, but I really think we need to add like 20 to 30% onto that number. Would probably be a good guesstimate at this point from what I'm seeing through the schools, plus others that aren't involved in the schools that are testing at home and are positive. Also, tomorrow, the FDA is supposed to most likely give an emergency use authorization of Pfizer for 1 to 5 year olds. So that'll be the next thing. So I did have quite a long conversation today with Northborough Board of Health, Kristen Black. And what we're most likely going to do is, if that does get approved, we're going to have a meeting probably early next week. Obviously, Raj will be involved in that meeting about coming up with potentially doing a couple of very large clinics as part of our collaborative. For example, maybe do what we did with the 5 to 11 year olds, have something pretty big at Ashland High School and have all the collaborative towns involved. Again, more to follow on that. We're gonna have to wait and see more information from the FDA and DPH on how that's gonna roll out. Just trying to think, there was Thursday, we're running a small Moderna booster clinic at Town Hall from 10 to 1. Raj and I will be doing that. And that's kind of the quick update. Raj, unless you think I missed anything.
No, that's all, Sarge, I guess.
Ed, how's it going with, the change in, your normal police duty things? Or are you finding you're able to, do enough? I'm sure it's challenging.
Yeah, it is. It's getting pulled in the days that I'm on the road. Sometimes it's a little tough because I'm getting pulled to test people and, but
so you can still do that too.
Yeah, it's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Well, anybody have any questions? Jay, Barb, Bernadette, nobody?
No.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, thank we and the town. Thank you. That's for sure for all your continued efforts and, definitely running the show here. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry. There was one more thing.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, no, I think it was 2 weeks or 1 week ago, we ran a small clinic up at the community center, and we were joined by some of the people from Hudson, and we tested out doing a voice and text call to people that are positive. And we have been doing that now for about a week and a half, Raj. And that has been extremely successful. And what's funny, what we've learned from some of the people that have gotten these messages is that we're actually notifying them that they're positive before the lab is. So we're actually getting to them quicker so that they know that they're positive. And we've been assisting Hudson and Maynard getting their messages out for them also.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
And Sarge, the clinic also, update about the community center clinic that we did.
Yep, that was what, a week and a half ago, Raj. Can't remember my days anymore.
Yeah. Is the upcoming one, Raj or Ed, is that a weekday or a weekend?
It's Thursday.
Just this Thursday.
This Thursday from 10 to
Okay.
1. Yep.
Okay.
And obviously, once we find out about the Pfizer for the younger kids, we'll get that out, figure out how we'll manage that one. But that's going to be quite a few kids to do.
Yeah. Will you get help from, Walgreens and CVS or no?
No, I think we'll run it almost like the way we did the 5 to 11-year-olds.
Mhm.
That was really successful. We had a lot of nurse volunteers, but I was able to use student nurses also from Regis College and Mass Bay Community College. They came with their instructors.
Yeah.
So great learning experience for them, and
Yeah.
all that extra help is great.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll love doing 1 to 5-year-olds. That should be fun.
Take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Thank you as usual. Ed, you probably have more important things to do, but you're welcome to hang. We appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda, review and approve the meeting minutes for December 14th, 2021, January 4th, 2022, and January 5th, 2022, and review year-to-date budget report, fiscal year 2022. Anybody like to make a motion to approve that agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, any seconds?
I second it.
Terrific. All in favor? Aye, Ron?
Aye.
Hi, Barbara.
I Bernadette.
Ajay.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. That passes 4-0. Brings us up to Jay. You got
Yeah.
anything for the remote area medical that you were
Well,
talking about a few weeks ago?
Yeah, there's been some movement on that. And Sergeant Berman, thanks for staying, because I have a few questions for you and probably Raj too, but just to bring folks up to speed, and feel free to ask me any questions about how remote area medical operates. I know a few weeks back, I explained a little bit about what they did, and then Laura was kind enough to send out a video of the 60-minute episode that was done a few years back, which I think is really good in terms of giving everybody a general idea of what this group does. But I'm happy to answer questions about RAM. So as an update, I spoke with, had a meeting with Michael Hebert and Raj on the 19th, just to talk about, what their thoughts were, if they thought that this was something that the community would like to do, if we could pull it off, if there were any red flags, or if they thought there might be any issues. And they both seemed to be for it. They didn't just seem to be for it. They both said that they thought it was a good idea. And then Mike said he would go back and talk to his staff and Raj and Sergeant Berman. And he did that. And I think Jennifer Wolfing was there, Jen Ball. Am I missing anyone that was at that meeting with Michael? I don't think so. And so then Raj got in touch with me, I think it was last Thursday, and let me know that they all thought that this was a good idea and that we should think about speaking to Keefe Tech about using that as a venue. Because we had tossed around the idea of, and when I say we, really early discussions with Steve Mitchell and Ed Hart, who would be helping me to pull this together. And, we had identified the high school as a potential place, and we were going to talk to Jim Adams, and Steve Mitchell thought, well, maybe we should consider asking if we could use Keefe Tech. And so anyway, Sergeant Berman spoke with Keefe Tech. And Ed, do you mind just sharing with us how the conversation went?
Sure. Well, most of you probably know I'm chairman of the Keefe Tech School Committee also. So, I spoke with the superintendent, and he actually said no. He said he'd love to host something like that, especially where we would be able to get some additional communities involved, Framingham, Natick, and the other communities that Keefe Tech serves. So, and again, it's a great venue because there's so much room and space where we could use the building. They did ask though if we could shoot for any time in August, because in August the building is not really used. That's their downtime month. In July they do have a summer camp that runs at the school for kids. But yeah, he loved the idea, and they love opening their doors to projects like this.
So the superintendent had sent an email letter over to Sergeant Berman, and I just wanted to make sure, Ed, that he understood what we were talking about, because I think the way he worded it was that Keefe Tech would be open if it were in August to, I think it was a physicians conference, and I want to make sure.
Yeah. No. When he and I described it, I said, listen, we could have a couple rooms maybe for vaccines, another room for this. And yeah, and the way the building, I don't know if you've ever been in the building, he actually said, take the whole wing, or you could actually have the whole building. Mm-hmm. Like I said, once we firm up the dates and everything, it's not an issue. They've been really open to different things that we've run over the years too.
Okay, so that's good news. And so after I heard from you, Ed, I officially filled out the online form that RAM requires. And, you give some background about the town, and you put in some stats about the need and that sort of thing. They got back to me, I think it was a day, or it might've been 2 days later. And first thing they said was, Jay, do you know what you're getting yourself into with this? And of course I've been to these. So the way the woman that got in touch with me, her name's Vicky, she asked if I had a dedicated venue and a date. And I said, I think I've got the venue. I'm not sure about the date, because I know that usually these things take about a year to plan. So I have to clarify that with her. Maybe Ed, you and I and Raj can kind of meet offline and talk about how feasible August would be. I'd love to do it in August. I'm just not sure we could pull everything together in that period of time. And maybe we could. I know that a clinic went up in Texas in 6 months recently. So
yeah. So Jay, we actually had that conversation, and Mike Herbert even thought that this summer was going to be too quick of a time frame. He was actually thinking it was going to be summer of 2023.
Okay.
But if it's something you want to try to do, I'll certainly help you also. And I'm not sure the thing too that we need to know is, do we need a lot of volunteers? Obviously, we could reach out. One of the things that would be phenomenal is Keefe Tech has that health careers department, maybe getting some of their kids to come in and help with a project like this. And we already have some great affiliations with a lot of our nursing schools.
I think it's absolutely perfect. I've been to a few of these in Tennessee and Ohio, and I can tell you, I've never set one up like this. I've always been on the ground doing the work, but I think that we would have an awesome team to pull this off. I'm not at all concerned about that. It's in volunteers and, local schools and the whole 9 yards would just be perfect. It might be tough to, with people's summer vacations and things like that, to pull it off in August, but I'd love to sit down and chat with you about, and I'll walk you through like my experience and how it works, who we might have involved. And then you can tell me what you think about the timing. And, it wouldn't be the end of it would be nice if, there was a way to do it like I don't know, on a school vacation in December or something like that. But even if it had to wait,
Yep.
that just gives us more time to perfect it, and we wouldn't have to worry so much about COVID.
Right. So the other thing too, Jay, I think what I would recommend then when we do decide to have a quick meeting or whatever, I'd like to invite the Chief Superintendent, John Evans, to that meeting. And that way, you know, we can find out what's available extra, even if we decided to do it like during a school vacation week.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
absolutely. Yep.
So maybe what I can do is I'll send you and Raj an email, and you know, and Raj, you know, I don't know how much you want to be involved. I don't want to take away from your day job. The idea is that this is sort of a volunteer driven thing, and the same for you, Ed. You know, when I talked to Michael about this, I said these are volunteers, and yeah, I didn't want him to think I was going to pull from FTEs for the town or anything like that. I'll let you guys worry about that, and I'll invite you to stuff if you want to come. But I think it would be great, Ed, if we met with the superintendent. So I'll circle back, and then the next time the board meets, we'll have some more updates on how this is moving. But the short-term goal is for me to get back to Ram and tell them we've got a ballpark date, we've got a team, and we've got a venue. And then what they do is they'll come in and they'll meet with us, and they'll look at the feasibility of the whole thing. And then they'll use their algorithms to kind of help us predict how many patients we might see in a weekend. And then they walk it back from there. How many providers do we need? How many volunteers? How much food, housing, and all these things that then plug in. And they really get it down to a science, but they need those things: venue, place, and a general sense of how many people we might see. And you'd be great to help out in those conversations, Ed.
Well, we definitely have the venue, and I'm not worried about at all. That's
Great.
Which is
Great.
probably one of the biggest hurdles.
Excellent. Well, I'm very excited. I don't know if Raj, do you have anything to add?
Definitely, Dr. J, you know, so we'll give you whatever time we can, you know, so I mean, again, right now with COVID and all that situation, but now, again, this is a public health event, you know, so we'll be involved in whatever capacity. I mean, from the office or even out of office, I'll be there, you know, so.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
So, and I totally think we can pull this together even this year, you know, like I know it's a little short time, but I guess we can definitely do it, you know, so.
Yeah. And,
All right.
and Jay, I had one quick question which came up. Any of these clinics, do they offer like a room or a section where we could potentially do childhood vaccines?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and that's, I have to tell you, we're struggling, not just us, every town around us. We have so many kids we're trying to get into school that are just struggling to find places to get their childhood vaccines done so they can get into school.
Yeah, so the timing for that would be good then, if it were going to be August. And so the way it works is, you know, the centerpiece or the I guess the hood ornament of these RAM clinics is the dental service, because even in places where people have insurance, they're often underinsured and they don't get dental coverage. And then the secondary service is vision. So vision and dental. And then there's a medical piece to it, which are medical providers, nurses, and doctors who are there mainly to support those other services, but also to provide general exams themselves. And, you know, they'll write some scripts for like blood pressure and things like that. And I can let you guys know more about that. But
Yep.
At a lot of these clinics, they'll have additional services that you can plug in if they're available in the area. I mean, I've seen clinics where they have women's health vans pull in, an x-ray van, you know, a whole bunch of different things, social services, financial services. So it really depends on the community and who wants to be involved. And so you can put in, when I was at the Knoxville clinic in 2021, they had a flu vaccine clinic, and I think they have a COVID. No, they didn't have the COVID testing clinic, but it was a flu vaccine clinic. So as long as somebody is there to staff it and they check it out with RAM and they're okay with it, and everybody's licenses are checked in advance and all that, it's whatever whatever's possible. Yeah.
Well, the other thing too, just to plug Keith again, they do have the new dental hygienist program. So I'm sure we can get some student volunteers to come down, and especially if you're going to have dental also, because it's great to get these kids involved.
Yeah,
Showing
definitely.
what public health is all about right from the start of their careers.
Oh, that would be really nice. Yeah, they'd love it. Yeah, they're nice events to attend and participate in. So, all right. Unless there are other questions, then we can move on. Ron and Ed and Raj, I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
Jay,
you.
that sounds great. Look, sounds like you already did a ton of work already, and of course, thank Ed again and Raj. Ed, thank you again for getting the venue already. That's great. It's exciting.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to do the feed stuff for you.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you to do that.
Yeah, no problem. No
Yeah.
problem. At least I can help out in some way, and any other way I can help you out.
Yeah,
if there is anything I can do.
That's a
Yeah.
big draw, podiatry in these clinics, as you can imagine. So, okay.
Okay. All right. That's
All right,
that's
thanks.
great. Yeah. Thanks. Well, we'll keep that on the agenda. So, if you ever have an update, it'll be there. And if not, we'll just breeze right over it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Agenda 6, the health director's report. Raj, you're up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
So first, I want to update the board just about the grants. So far, till a couple of weeks back, we had 2 grants. That's the Public Health Excellence Grant and the Contact Tracing Grant. And we are already seeing help from the staff. Both of our clinics, that the vaccine clinic we did, the sports staff came from the collaboration. There was a director from that collaboration, as well as the nurse. They was with us at both the clinics, and they have offered help in our Thursday clinic as well. So through these grants, we are definitely seeing help already. But I guess this was early this week. We got another grant that's from the Metro West Health Foundation. It's for 5 communities, and we got $250,000 from them. Now, we are planning clinics under this, buying PPE, like mask, test. It's still, we're just discussing how to very thoughtfully use these funds, but now this grant is just for COVID, just for right now, that whatever clinics we can put up, testing and all that stuff. So that'll be coming soon, so bigger clinics, or even smaller ones in different towns. And now we kind of have got the staff to run these, like even outside Ashland. That's what I meant, There was another grant we got that's called the NEARS grant. That's for $2,500. Is from National Environmental Health Association. And this particular grant is for food safety as well as foodborne illness investigations. We can buy stuff, we can have staff trainings and stuff like that. So, and so far we have got 4 grants, and we're waiting on 2. Both of them are applied, and hopefully we have them soon. Another thing with the contact tracing, we did get a contact tracer, as Sergeant Berman earlier mentioned, that right now, because of this surge, earlier we was doing contact tracing, but the surge around, holidays or New Year, we stopped doing the contact tracing, and we were sending out letters, to anybody who was positive just about isolation quarantine. But Sergeant Berman and myself was thinking now, because the surge is coming down, to start the contact tracing back. For that, I reached out to the state, and they have provided us one contact tracer that it's actually the APHC. They actually work under the state. It's Academia Public Health Corps. Along with MHOA, they have given us a contact tracer for 8 weeks and 10 hours a week. So they're gonna be at that cost. So we're gonna have that, and we're gonna get going back on contact tracing. With the restaurants, in the last board meeting, I updated board that Honeydew on Pond Street, as well as Kitty Fanwell, these was the 2 entities. They had not applied our food permit, by the due date of 31st December, the 1st Jan, but now they are squared away. We have granted them permit and all of our food establishments have permit now. The other thing we are doing this Friday, we are actually doing a tobacco retail training. Olivia, our tobacco coordinator for the region, she's going to be doing this, and this is at 12 o'clock on Friday. I will send an invite to the board if a couple of board members want to join or see what we do. It's a very short training. It's from 12 to 12:30. That's all I have for the board, but I'm open for any questions, please.
Raj, I just had a question with the grants. So when the 4 or 5 or 6 communities, get those grants in there for a certain number of years, how does that money get, is it divvied up, or is it just that everybody needs masks or test kits for COVID, and you allot a certain amount of money and then everybody just gets what they need? How does that work?
Dr. Ron, so a couple of things, right? So with the earlier grant, right, the PHE grant and the CTC grant, they are for longer terms, Now, what state of Massachusetts or the, DPH things, right? Earlier, they was giving grants to individual communities, to all do all that. But now they are making these groups, so that money can be used better. Like, but now these 2 grants are going to be for anything in public health,
Okay.
I mean, we have a part-time food inspector there or a septic inspector, so we can ask for help actually wherever we need. And these 8 communities now, all this staff is going to be shared by all the communities based in Hudson. But now we have a way we request services. Supposedly, I need a housing inspection, that's out of the, when I'm not available, or we have a lot going on, so we can call for help, so that's what these 2 grants are. The Metro West Health Foundation grant that we got very recently, that is for COVID stuff, because the monies was not coming from state. Last year we got good amount of funds, but there was nothing this year. So Metro West Health Foundation said, hey, they can give up to $50,000 per community. So 5 of these communities we got together and applied for this grant, and we got it. Now, this money we're going to be using for COVID, clinics, testing, any kind of PPE and all that stuff related to that. So we had a discussion, last week, like how to use it, but we are thinking, and again, a lot of work need to be done, if we're going to be buying tests from this money or mask, and how to distribute, or which groups are going to be getting it. This is all under discussion. But what I'm thinking, major stuff to be done, clinics, I'm totally, on vaccinations. As Sergeant Berman, we try whenever we can do put up a clinic, so we can vaccinate as many people as we can, So to answer your question, yes, Metro West Health Foundation is just for COVID, but the other monies are wherever we need to use in public health.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, all right. I guess that brings us to anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about in future? We'll keep Jay's the remote area medical on for next time in case there's any reports. Anybody have anything else that they need to bring up or want to bring up? Obviously, Ed will give us an update next time. May have a few other town things to take care of. Anything that you can think of that you want to talk about? I know usually there's Green Up Ashland in May. I guess we got time for that. So I don't think there's any other issues that I can think about right this second. Nobody?
No, not here.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I'm assuming we'll our next meeting will be in 2 weeks on what's that, the 15th I guess that'll be the third Tuesday. So we still have, time to come up with a few ideas. Maybe we'll see if your wife wants to give us an update on decisions.
She's not in decisions anymore. She's been
No,
out for
she's
a
not
while.
in anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
she's
I didn't know
one
that.
of the founding members of it, but she's been out
Yeah,
for
she is.
just a consultant, if anything, at this
Just
point.
okay. All right. Well, I can always ask Kristen. She's usually, pretty good at that. So
Yeah,
I'm sure she'd, like to give us some updates. Yeah. And Mark, I'd never not see you on a meeting and not ask if you had anything to say. So we'll reopen citizens participation for you.
Gee, don't let me be a bothersome person to wake you guys up or whatever.
You're not a bother.
Okay, good evening, Board of Health. Nice to catch you right in the middle to the end here. I kind of was busy with my father, guy, male nurse was taking care of him. I was helping him. He's doing a lot better, and then everything is well here. And both of us is all double vaxxed and boosted, and everything else is going well. So I hope the town is, and Ed, I hope you're getting some sort of reality check of saying what day this is, and hoping not just blending them in by now. And I like to thank the town health, the board of health, the town, and everything. For our historic snowfall, and I heard no unhealthy news throughout the time. So people are strong to get through, and being national strong with everything else to go through. That's it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mark. All right. If that's it, anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:34 p.m.
Okay, could be the quickest meeting ever. Any seconds?
second.
Yeah,
second it.
All right, all in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Barbara.
I'm going to assume that passes, 4-0. All right, everyone. Ed, thank you. Jay, all members, Barbara, Bernadette, Raj, of course, and Laura, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay,
Have a
Bye.
good
Thank
evening,
you.
everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you.